Spend a ton of time looking at how something could go wrong, and really instead just focus on doing everything that you can to continue to make things go right. We don't talk a ton about failing here. I mean, this is our goal is to figure out how to be successful. So fundamentally, I mean, if you're gonna open a business, you've really got to spend a long time looking in the mirror, trying to understand if this is the right opportunity.
What's up, YouTube? It's Zikomo, and I have another interview with a young entrepreneur. Today, I am interviewing a very special guest. I'm sitting down here with the CEO and co-founder of The Gathering Spot. So I just want to give you a little bit of back history on how I even found out about this place. About a couple weeks ago, I came out here for a networking event. It was hosted by the Young Entrepreneurs of Atlanta. CEO of that is Kadeem Dunwell. And of course, it's a networking event, so I'm sitting around talking to different people, and the discussion came about young black entrepreneurs. And it was like, Kadeem said, this spot actually was ran by someone who went to Georgetown, who was around the same age as me, and he was partnering with a few other people, and I was like, man, I gotta meet this guy. So, after a few weeks, actually sitting here right in front of Ryan Wilson. So, how's everything going for you today?
Everything's great. Happy to participate in this interview and talk about the business.
All right, excellent. So, I'm here in this facility. This is the Gathering Spot. It is a state-of-the-art facility. It has a restaurant, it has a bar, it has a workspace, it has a lot of different things. Very nice. I just want for you to share what exactly is the Gathering Spot?
So the Gathering Spot is a private membership club. There's three parts of our space. An event space where we are now. So we host a ton of different types of events. You'll see anything from a wine tasting to a film screening to cocktail parties that happen in here. The second part of the space is a restaurant and bar. So our members are in and out of the restaurant day in and day out for meetings and using the restaurant as even workspace. And then we have formal workspace. So that's conference rooms, private offices, hot desks, all open 24 hours, allowing our members to work really whenever they want to. So while I was in law school, I started this business with my college roommate from undergrad, and a couple things were happening at the same time. I was doing some community work, never had a place to have a meeting. I was in and out of a bunch of coffee shops, and at the same time, we both were kind of in and out of a lot of city clubs, and so started talking about how we could redo or remodel a lot of the city clubs that we were in and out of. And it originally started with mainly being focused on workspace, but as we talked about all of the things that we would want to have in a club, the event piece was important to us, and the restaurant piece was important, so we added those components.
How were you able to get this spot here? And just to let everybody know where it is, it's downtown, it's right next to Georgia Tech College, and it's a very nice space. Hopefully, when we get done with the interview, I can get a couple shots just to show everyone. But this is a very nice spot. How were you able to, I guess, raise the capital to get here?
I mean, raising capital is definitely the hardest part of the entire process. It's difficult to get people, particularly when you have a project that's so visual like ours, to get folks to be able to see it. So we spent, it was a 2-year-long period from when we started had the initial idea to when we started actually receiving some funding. Pretty small, tight-knit group of investors, but the biggest thing, or the biggest piece of advice that I have in just raising capital generally is that you've got to show people on a very, very basic level how you're going to protect their cash and then give them some more. And so we really worked during that time period to refine the model to a point where potential investors could see the opportunity.
What are some of the challenges that you face so far just being an entrepreneur?
There are daily challenges. When you're starting a business, there's very practical concerns about making sure that you're taking care of the needs of the business. But one of the hardest parts about starting, I think, anything is that you just have to stay committed and really into your project. You have to live it.
Yeah.
I mean, so there are a couple things that have me committed. The first side of it, I mean, is very practical. I mean, I've got responsibilities at this point. I mean, I've got a payroll and rent, all various things that on a very practical level have to get taken care of. So that's motivating in one sense. Second sense, I mean, we're very, very, very committed to the idea of this business in terms of bringing people from all walks of life together under one roof to connect with one another for business or social purposes. And so I'm committed to that. I really believe in that idea, and so that motivates me every day too.
What have you noticed about yourself that has helped you to become successful to this point in terms of entrepreneurship?
So a couple things that I think that you need. First thing, I mean, I think that you have to be fearless in a sense about the idea of failure. I mean, we don't talk a ton about failing here. I mean, this is our goal is to figure out how to be successful, and so I don't spend a ton of time, and I think it's hard to spend a ton of time looking at how something could go wrong, and really instead just focus on doing everything that you can to continue to make things go right. So that's the first thing. I mean, the second thing is like part of being an entrepreneur is running towards a brick wall in many senses, and you've got to figure out really to ignore the fact that you're doing it. I mean, and figure out ways to overcome challenges. It's going to be something daily. So maintaining a positive, very optimistic view of whatever scenario you're in is essential. Biggest mentor by far is my dad. I mean, he's an entrepreneur, but along with the things that I was just talking about, optimism, perseverance, he's the person. I don't know anybody that has more of those characteristics than what he does. He's been in a ton of different business scenarios, and so although this is a new space, for us both, some of the challenges are they rhyme in a sense, and so I've been able to really draw from his prior experience.
Yeah, the Gathering Spot just had its grand opening January, right?
Yeah.
January 2016. Where do you see yourself in January 2026?
And so that's an interesting question. I mean, the original goal here is to have a network of clubs, and so I imagine by then we'll have clubs in other parts of the country, and have a community that's formed through those clubs, that's vibrant and exciting. That's the best part of our business, are the people that are surrounded, or that are in it every day. And so by then I would hope to have made a lot of new friends in that sense, in terms of folks that would just be members of the club. And that's for us to have a footprint in other places outside of Atlanta.
It was great speaking with you. I really appreciate you sitting down. I know you're very busy. You're very busy, so I appreciate you spending the time to talk to me. How can people learn more about the Gathering Spot or apply to become a member? How can they get in contact?
Best way to find us is on our website, gatheringspot.club, and on any social media, ATL Gathers, as you can keep up with the different activities of the club. We do a ton of things every month, and so anybody that wants to know more can find us in one of those two places.
All right, so if you weren't able to catch all of that, I will have that information in the caption below so that you can click on those links and get in contact with the Gathering Spot. Once again, Ryan, I appreciate you sitting down with me. And until next time, you two, I'll see you later. All right, bye.
Thanks.